Good afternoon. My name is Chris Adam of Youth Pleasure Employers, and I'm delighted to be joined by Harry Freeman, the Student Services Tutor from the Bridge Project. Hello there, Harry.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for giving your time to speak to me this afternoon.
You're more than welcome.
And thank you. And I guess my first question really has to be, can you tell me about the Bridge Project and what it is you do?
Of course. So the Bridge Project was set up 25 years ago to support people in our community with learning disabilities, mental health disorders, dementia, and any physical type of disability. The whole point of it was to build a bridge between society and those who are classed as disadvantaged. We started a day centre which got everyone together doing fun activities, so they include arts and crafts, but also as an education. So if some people might be learning how to clean their home, how to look after their body, for some people that's learning how to count or how to manage their money. The whole point of the Bridge Project was set up to aid these people to live full, fulfilling lives and be the amazing people in society that we know they are. Obviously, throughout those 25 years, the Bridge Project has grown hugely. We now have a catering service which caters to the isolated and elderly in the community. The Bridge Project has come such a far way from where it started.
That's amazing, and it's brilliant to hear about how it's grown. As you say, it's helping even more people. What kind of people and roles and teams are there within the Bridge Project to facilitate all of the different ways that you've just said it helps people?
So our structured Bridge Project is set up over three different departments. We have Student Service Department, which is what I work in. We have our Central Services Department, which looks at our admin and finance team. And then we have our catering department. And all of that is overseen by our CEO, who runs over the whole charity. So each department has an operations manager, each department, and then our CEO oversees everything that we do. And each department has their own focuses. So obviously catering wants to deliver the meals to the elderly and isolated community. Also doing outside catering as well to different types of venues. And then we have our Student Service Department, which is what my department do, which I work in, which is to help our students. And then we have Central Services, which looks at finance, make sure our charity stays afloat, that we're raising enough money, and obviously admin, because obviously like any other business or charity, there's always lots of paperwork to do.
That's really interesting to hear the breakdown and structure there. And if we look at sort of, how do I put it, the people in the organisation as a whole, and look at the sort of skills that you all have, I'm assuming obviously you all have a passion to help. You know, that must be a big driver behind the reason why you're all enrolled.
Everyone there is there for the same mission, no matter what your job title is, no matter your qualifications or your experience. Every single person there is for our students. The whole reason charity was set up was for our students, to make sure that they had the most fulfilling, amazing life. So no matter what we do, if it's delivering meals to the elderly, we empower them. We're also making money to make sure our students have an amazing day, or go on an amazing trip, or have the best resources they could possibly have to learn. Everybody has the same passion to make sure our students are happy. It's the most important thing to all of us, that they're happy and they enjoy their lives.
And I'll prefix this next question by saying I know there's no such thing as a typical day. No such thing doesn't exist. But if you were going to sort of, whether it's your within student services or one of the other departments, if you were going to sort of maybe talk about some of the sort of sort of requests and things that happen on a sort of daily basis, and the way you support, as I say, your students, what kind of things come in and what kind of ways do you support them?
So in my department, our morning always starts off by signing our students in. Obviously, some of my students have medication that they might need to take at lunchtime or break time. All that medication needs to be signed in, put in lockable boxes. Obviously, all student services teams have to undergo certain training to not only do the job, but also safely handle medication, to administer medication. So we sign our students in, see how their weeks have been or nights have been, deal with any issues. So some people might have had maybe just a bad night or have woken up in a bad mood. So we'll address that issue, sort that issue out, and then we forget about it for the rest of the day. We nip it in the buds, so that we allow ourselves to have a lovely day ahead. And then we move on to our lessons. So obviously we're currently going for a move at the minute, so our structure is a little bit all over the place a bit, but I'm going to go ahead is how we would normally structure. So our day was normally built up over 3 lessons. So we'd have our lesson from when they got signed in and they're ready to start till break time, and then we'd have a lesson from break till lunch, and then we'd have a lesson after lunch. So those lessons varied. So for myself, I taught things like independent living skills, numeracy, money management. I taught my students first aid as well. And that's our sort of day. And then we round up our day by going down to our social room, sign all our students out, return all medications. Obviously at lunchtime we have medication rounds to do, so if someone receives medication, a member of staff will deliver that. But obviously part of our day that anything happens, someone could get hurt, someone could fall over. Obviously, some of our students have epilepsy, so obviously every member of staff in the student service department has to undergo first aid training, because we never know what's going to happen at what time. Every member of staff needs to be prepared and correctly trained to deal with anything that comes up.
And you talk about your members of staff there, and as you say, the various training they go through. If we strip back the training, what are the sort of the soft skills or the personality traits that everyone has in an organisation, or if someone wanted to come into the organisation, what, as I say, traits and skills do they need to have that would actually make you think, you know what, you'd be a really good fit here?
You need to want to help. No matter if you go into any job within the health and social care field, there is challenging. Sometimes the pay's not the best, sometimes the hours are really long. So you need to be the right person for this. You need to want to help. You need to understand that going the extra mile is part of your job. You shouldn't do it with recognition to be the best. You should do it because you want to help. For me, my students, walking into a room and hearing people shout your name and run up and hug you, there is no greater feeling. You need to be a person that wants to help, is kind, and can adapt. You need, every day is different. Every day throws up something new. If you think about any business, any charity, logistical issues happen every single day. We can't use a certain place, something is broken, something's leaking, or those sort of issues. You need to be able to adapt to things like, this is not working, so we're going to do this, we're going to do that. You need to be adaptable. You need to be able to think on your feet and problem solve. And I think that is the core skills that are required to work in the sort of job I do.
And you mentioned, as you say, those core skills there and sort of an ability to think on your feet. A lot of these are sort of transferable skills that maybe people would develop in other sectors as well. Do you find that reflected in your workforce? Do you have people coming to you from a variety of backgrounds who've got, whether it be sort of, health and social care or other fields, who've got those transferable skills that they utilise, when working with your students?
100%. One of our members of staff has come from, she was a skilled baker and fishmonger. She's now working as a tutor. So she had those skills of customer service, thinking on her feet. As a skilled baker, you're in a bakery all day, things go wrong, fire alarms go off, and all of a sudden, all of your stuff that was proven or in the oven is gone now. So you've got to restart, you've got to think on your feet, you need to be able to move forward, you need to have a positive attitude about it. She came into this sector and absolutely flourished. All of our members of staff come from different backgrounds. My personal line manager comes back from a children in care background. She is the most amazing manager I've ever worked with in my life. And she comes from a background, her original core, she's worked in LD before, but originally she came from a children's centre, and she's amazing at her job. We all come from different skills. No matter what you do, every job has the same kind of core requirements to want to be there, to be happy, to be able to problem solve, and just sometimes smile. No matter how rubbish a day is, no matter how challenging something is, put a smile on. Remember, at the end of the day, it's absolutely okay, and tomorrow is a fresh day, and you go in. Like I said, walk into a room, everyone calls your name, wants to hug you, wants to know how your night's been. Nothing can ever beat that feeling.
And I guess, as I say, you've touched on some of it there. I'm guessing the biggest pros of working for organisations such as yourself, as I say, is the impact you can see you have on people. Positive impact, is the variety in the role, as you say, no 2 days are the same. And as I say, just an overall feeling that you're having a positive impact. Are there any others that maybe I've missed there? What do you think are the biggest pros of the organisation?
To be able to help someone. Also, I think for me, a huge pro of the organisation. So my job is an absolutely amazing job, but this isn't the job I was dreamt of doing. My dream was always being a paramedic, and I fell in this role, and I've absolutely loved every moment of it. I decided just a while ago that I need to chase my dreams, and when I told the charity I work for, there was no hesitation. All they've done is backed me through no matter what I'm going to go and retrain, and they backed me the whole entire way. And to me, that was where I realised I found a good place, that they didn't question me, they didn't worry about my security there. They said, you do it and we'll work around you. And that to me was amazing. That's what makes it such a fantastic place to work. Not only do you have these most amazing students who, no matter what you're going through, maybe you're having a sad day or just one of those days where everything's on top of you, they will make you smile. And then also you work for people who genuinely care about your progression, who want you to be the best version of yourself.
And that leads me actually really nicely onto my final question, because you spoke a little bit there about, as I say, sort of, where you'd been beforehand, how the role makes you feel. And I've asked this question to all of the people I've done these employer talks with, which is, if you could go back, Harry, and speak to sort of a younger version of yourself, say just about to leave school, about to go out into the big wide world of work, taking into account sort of, how this job makes you feel, maybe how other jobs have made you feel, successes you've had, mistakes you might have made and learned from. What is the one piece of advice you would career advice you would give your younger self?
Stop rushing. Stop always thinking we need to get to this end goal quickly. My dream was always to be a paramedic, and it was the rush into that. And actually, it's when COVID hit, I realised that I wasn't quite ready to go do study online full time. So I fell into the apprenticeship and bridge project. And that's when I realised that I've loved everything about being there. It has taught me so much. It's pushed me to my limits. And it's taught me so much about who I am, what I'm capable of doing, the skills I have. And I wish I could tell myself that in the end it will all work out. There's so many years left on this planet to explore these other careers. But if an opportunity comes up, to take it and see where it takes you, because even if it's not the end goal, it will teach you so much about yourself and what you can handle, and it will really push you towards the actual end goal you want. Sometimes we talk a job up really well in the head of how amazing it'll be, and then when you start doing different things, you think, oh, maybe that's not quite for me. And you find passions in other places. It's about trying new things and remembering that end goal is never going anywhere. Even if you go back in a couple of years and do it, if an opportunity comes up, take it. You learn so much about yourself and what you are capable of doing, the confidence you grow, knowing that you can push yourself and achieve so much.